The bitterness does not come from being an anti-fascist. The bitterness comes from the harsh material conditions that capitalism places on top of us. Now, being an anti-fascist is liberating. Hey comrades, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Obnoxious Anarchist. I just finished work. I'm fucking exhausted. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to go over a video. I didn't want to go over this video because specifically it's a PragerU video. So yeah, this video came out about a week ago, and it's pure vitriolic bullshit. So alright, so let's get right into it. The title of this video is I Used to Be Antifa. I mean, you never know, this might be the video that changes my ways. I'll renounce any anti-fascist action and I'll become a good little radical liberal.
There was a time in my life when I was angry, bitter, and deeply unhappy.
Based.
I wanted to lash out at the whole fascist system, the greedy, heartless power structure that didn't care about me or the rest of society's innocent victims.
Shit, based.
A system that had robbed, beaten, and stolen from my ancestors. The whole corrupt edifice deserved to be brought down, reduced to rubble.
So far in this video, I don't disagree with anything he said. Let's continue, comrades.
I was a perfect recruit for Antifa, the left-wing group which claims to fight against fascism. And so, I became a member. Now,
anti-fascists don't claim to fight fascism. We do fight fascism. We put our money where our mouth is.
I was one of those who had the guts to fight against the fascists who were exploiting disadvantaged people. I wasn't a card-carrying anti-fascist. There's no such thing as an official Antifa membership. But I was ready at a moment's notice to slip on the black mask and march in what Antifa calls the Black Bloc, a cadre of other black-clad Antifa members, to taunt police and destroy property.
He reduces anti-fascist action to just taunting police and destroying property when that is not the crux of what it is. So like basically what we do is anytime there's like right-wing protesters coming into our city, what we want to do is we want to be there to counter-protest. And like, I don't deal with the tech stuff, but a lot of other anti-fascists, they deal with the tech stuff. We try to figure out what new fascist groups are springing up. We try to make sure that these people can't organize concretely in our cities. And you know, if they want to, then they're gonna be they're gonna meet some resistance on the way. And many times the police are you know, they're the guard dogs of fascism. So in many ways, yeah, many times there are clashes between police and anti-fascists.
Antifa stands for anti-fascist, but that's purposely deceptive. For one thing, the very name is calibrated so that anyone who dares to criticize the group or its tactics can be labeled fascist.
I love how ahistorical this is. First of all, like, anti-fascist action started in Germany way back when they were fighting fucking Nazis in the streets. This was the group Anti-Fascist Action was started by the KPD.
For one thing, the very name is calibrated so that anyone who dares to criticize the group or its tactics can be labeled fascist.
Okay, so here's the thing, like, I'm an anti-fascist and I critique the tactics of anti-fascism. And a lot of my comrades don't think I'm a fascist, so...
This allows Antifa to justify violence against all who dare stand up or speak out against them. A few groups boldly declare themselves Antifa, like Rose City Antifa in Portland.
Rose City,
but most don't, preferring to avoid the negative publicity. That's part of Antifa's appeal and strength. It's hard to pin down. There is no identifiable leader.
I think the Engelsist put it really good once, where he talked about federalism and federalizing so that we don't have these like clear-cut leaders and shit like that. It is hard to pin down, it is very spontaneous, and it's perfect because it's flexible in times where we need to, you know, like fascists don't just fucking like it's pretty spontaneous. It's when they organize and stuff. So we have to be able to deal with that and be able to react spontaneously to their organizing. Fascism is when you use violence. That's the law. You know, fuck, a lot of people have a really misconstrued understanding of fascism, and they actually think that. A lot of rad libs especially, they think that, like, They think that, like, yeah, just any kind of violence is akin to fascism, and it's really detrimental because it muddies the water. Yeah, shit like that. I was an evil leftist, but I saw the light, and now I'm snitching on all my ex-comrades. Disgusting, disgusting, dude. You know what? That's one of the main problems with anti-fascist action is that you do tend to have like a lot of infiltration by like rad libs and shit like that. Now, when shit hits the fan, the liberals are nowhere to be found. But the problem is that they claim anti-fascist. So a lot of people start getting these misconstrued understanding of like what anti-fascists actually do. Now, if you want to understand what anti-fascists actually do, I suggest you don't go to PragerU. Come here to the Obnoxious Anarchist YouTube channel. I tell you all about it.
But you must adopt two basic principles. First, you have to have the mentality of an anti-fascist.
What does that even mean?
And second, you must be willing to enforce that mentality.
Yeah, your mentality is that you're anti-fascist, and you enforce it upon fascists. Yeah, that's what we do.
To adopt an anti-fascist mentality means to reject everything that is fascism. But that begs the question, what is fascism?
That's a good question. Let's hear what his enlightened definition of what fascism is.
While most Americans associate fascism with Nazi Germany or modern dictatorial states like Venezuela, China, and North Korea, to states like Venezuela, China, and North Korea,
is this dude talking
to Antifa.
About? What the fuck is this dude talking about?
Venezuela, China, and North Korea.
He couldn't even give 3 examples of actual fascist societies. He had to go and give 3 examples of socialist projects. It doesn't sound a little bit disingenuous to you? Does it sound like he's trying to fix a narrative for you?
To Antifa, fascism means Judeo-Christian values and capitalism.
That's absolute bullshit, because a lot of fucking anti-fascists are Jewish and a lot of anti-fascists are Christians. A lot of anti-fascists are Muslim. Yeah, capitalism, fuck it. Do away with it, 100%.
As an Antifa group said on its Twitter account in 2018, the fight against fascism is only won when the capitalist system is smashed.
Absolutely.
And they mean smashed.
Yeah.
Breaking windows, tearing down statues, throwing Molotov cocktails, looting and burning businesses, and harassing and physically assaulting people.
So, I know that there's this big stereotype that, like, anti-fascists just go around fucking smashing up mom and pop shops and shit like that. Whenever there's, like, a large mass movement happening and rioting starts, it's kind of hard to control the fucking crowd. Yeah, a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of mom and pop shops, you know, do get destroyed in these bigger protests, but generally what we see at anti-fascist protests or anti-fascist demos or anything like that is very targeted. It's very targeted, symbolic property damage, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of the times they'll target banks, or they'll target police stations, or they'll target as was the case in for one May Day protest. There was a construction firm in Montreal who's building a detention center for refugees and migrants, and that was targeted and stuff like that. So this fucking myth that the violence is just senseless and misdirected and it's just not true. It's just not true.
We saw it all in the summer of 2020.
Yeah, you see, but the summer of 2020 was deeply connected to a large mass movement. It was part of Black Lives Matter. There was a lot of shit going on in the summer of 2020, my friend.
In Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, and other cities. Antifa is not solely responsible for all left-wing political violence. Not every attack by left-wing radicals is an Antifa attack.
Any move that is counter to fascism. If you're truly left wing, then you countering fascism. Then yeah, every far left group is anti-fascist.
Exemplifies the worst of this dangerous ideology, which is becoming bolder and more prevalent in American society.
Based.
Joining Antifa was the worst decision of my life. How did I get out of it? Like anyone who gets out of something bad, I encountered something good.
Wow.
The very system that I had sought to destroy. Friends. People who turned...
You know what's really funny is that these people look like my anti-fascist comrades when they take their masks off. And he just associates this shit with like bitterness and stuff like that. No, the bitterness does not come from being an anti-fascist. The bitterness comes from the harsh material conditions that capitalism places on top of us. Now, being an anti-fascist is liberating. It makes me happy to go out and be with my comrades and fight for these kinds of things and do different kinds of direct actions. And obviously it's not just out in the streets, you know, like these are the people that have your fucking back and stuff like that. Those are my friends. These are my anti-fascist friends right here.
Turned out to be my real friends, pointed me to challenging thinkers like Milton Friedman, Thomas Sowell, and Ben Shapiro.
Oh my god, dude. Honestly, dude, if any anti-fascist is watching this and they mildly support Milton Friedman, Thomas Sowell, or Ben Shapiro, we don't fucking want you. We don't fucking want you. The fuck out of here.
Eventually, organizations like the Leadership Institute and PragerU. What they said just made sense and offered me a better way to live. Antifa and the radical left did not care about building a better society. They cared about control.
That one anti-fascist was wearing overalls, super adorable. Yeah, you know, like, well, we're fucking cute too, you know what I mean? Maybe this guy just wasn't hanging out with the right anti-fascist. Maybe he was hanging out with a couple glowies or something. No, this is not fucking Dinesh D'Souza.
They could only offer me more anger, bitterness, and unhappiness.
Your anger is a gift. Your anger is a gift. Your anger is a gift. Always remember that.
I always expected to keep my past a secret. But as I saw cities around the country struggling against the rise of left-wing political violence, while left-wing and even liberal politicians said nothing, I knew I had to speak up. If people...
You know, I love how this is the biggest fucking thing that these people can talk about is, oh, property damage, a few broken windows. This is the haunting specter of left-wing violence. But nobody fucking talks about the myriad amount of right-wing people who go around fucking shooting up shit. Get the fuck out of here.
People like me who know what is really behind...
Oh yeah, actually, Ludlow Vert says something very important here. We do care about control. We are vying for power. We are trying to build power. We are trying to counter the system. We do care about control, making sure control of the economy is equitably distributed. Yeah.
The left will obliterate what it means to be a free American. So here...
The left will obliterate what it means to be an American, because what it means to be an American today is disgusting. And by American, I mean also Canadian or, you know, Australian, any one of these fuckers.
I am. And here's my message. Young people don't drift to the left because they believe the left is superior. Most do because they have never been exposed to anything else. Leftism has...
What are you talking about? The status quo is set so that all we fucking hear every single day is bullshit from the center, bullshit from the right, bullshit fucking rad libs. We're constantly being inundated with these fucking bullshit philosophies that lead nowhere, with these bullshit policies that hurt us more than anything. I don't know what this guy is talking about.
It turned me around. It can turn others around too. The core of that idea, call it the American dream.
Yes, we don't want you. If there are any anti-fascists watching this who enjoy Milton Friedman, fuck off, we don't want you.
It's not about money, it's about freedom. That, ultimately, is the reason Antifa has to resort to violence.
You know, it's really funny that he says that the American dream is about money and not freedom. But in an American fucking society, or capitalist society, you have to understand that money is freedom. Money is freedom tokens. You get your little fucking freedom tokens.
Because if conservatives are allowed to speak...
That's a pretty based animation though. Oh god, I'm gonna start saying based now. Oh god.
Freely, they will peacefully convert more and more of Antifa supporters towards the values of liberty. And then Antifa will vanish like the nightmare it is.
We're building the valleys for liberty. We're building the roads to liberty. Yeah, okay, sometimes it's not so optically pleasing to our enemies.
I'm Gabriel Nadales, the student rights advocate for the Leadership Institute, and author of Behind the Black Mask, My Time as an Antifa Activist
Of course he
for
wrote a
PragerU
book.
University.
Of course he wrote a fucking book about it. So this video is pure bullshit, as I expected. In the beginning, it was pretty good. Like, he was explaining what anti-fascism was in a way that was, was appealing to me. I was like, just based. But it started to go really downhill when he tried to describe fascist societies as Venezuela, North Korea, and China. Like, yo. Solidarity, comrades. Have a good one.